Win 82-81 over JBU here with Coach Vinay Patel. And Coach, your team didn't lead since about midway through the first half. It was 14-13 the last time you had the lead until the last 0.8 seconds when Mark Howell lays it in to give you the final margin. Your thoughts on the game today?
What a game. I don't know what I did not feel very good almost the entire game. They led, looking at this, 31 minutes of the game. I don't think we held a lead in the second half the entire time until the buzzer. Give the guys some credit. Didn't want to call a timeout. The whole scores table was yelling at me that we had 2 timeouts left. So we had a kid foul out at the end, and we had 6 seconds left, and I kind of drew up what we want to do there at the end. Trey and Chris, Trey was shooting the ball extremely well, so I wanted to put him on Mark's right-hand corner. Because I didn't figure anyone would dig, and if he did, I feel pretty confident Trey hitting a corner 3. So we were kind of drawing up what we wanted, because when the ball comes in with 6 seconds to go, it's chaos after a make or miss.
Yep.
You don't have time to set your defense. And so I wanted to go without the timeout, and I can't believe that we executed it, what we talked about that well, because usually we have struggled with that this year coming out of timeouts and stuff when I draw new stuff up. But give these guys some credit. They found a way to win, and there's no other way to say it. They found a way to win that game.
There's been a few instances here since the turn of the calendar that you guys have had strong second halves and come from behind wins. What was the message at halftime today to your team? You were down 17 with 2 minutes left and then cut it down to 11 at halftime. What did you say to the guys in the locker room?
Just a lot of different things. I didn't think we were executing our game plan defensively very well. You could tell by them shooting as well as they did in the first half from the field. I think they were 56% from the field in the first half. And it wasn't threes. This team takes a lot of threes. What's funny is that's something we talked about is they take 29 threes a game. And last time we played them at their place, we held them to 20 threes. And that's kind of what we wanted. We were aiming for 20 to 24. And we held them to 20 again. But, they did a great job of driving us off the perimeter and getting to the foul line. I thought it was a very foul-heavy game.
Mm-hmm.
We have 26. They had 25. That's a ton for a college basketball game. But that was part of our game plan because I think they shoot the 3 really well. They spread you out. But they, to me, Josh Bowling for them doesn't get the credit he deserves as a driver. Like, he is a great three-point shooter as well and a spacing big. But he kills you on drives, and I thought he hurt us doing that. And, we fouled Cottle a lot, lost him. But at halftime, we talked about just tightening up some of our defensive things. We started switching handoffs. We were guarding them a little bit different in the first half. We went to a true switch at halftime, and we just kind of made some adjustments. And really, we survived the half as far as fouls.
Yeah.
Darion got 3 fouls. We had just a slew of guys with 2 fouls in the first half. So it was almost like halftime gave us a breath of fresh air because now we can play everybody in the second half without thinking about those fouls. So, really good job of us adjusting in the second half to some of the things we talked about in there.
I think Trey Bryant had 8 points in the last 2 minutes of the first half. He's really starting to show some consistency. I know you've said he's not 100% yet off of his injury, but if you can get him to score 20 points at 75%, that's pretty good.
Well, he shoots the ball extremely well. I don't know what he is in conference play, but it's 50+% from the three-point line. And they started going under a high ball screen in the first half. And I looked at them and I said, Trey, if they're going to go under on you, shoot the basketball. So I run the same play. They go under again. He doesn't shoot it. So we take a timeout, and I kind of chew him a little bit. And I said, if they're going to go under on you, you have to make them pay. And he said, well, you want me to shoot it on the first one? And because we've been really heavy on passing the basketball, like we've talked about in previous times with you. But I said, yeah, if they're going to go under on you, shoot the basketball. So you saw they went under twice. He bangs 2 threes down and then hits one at the buzzer. But he's really capable of doing things like that. And he's a special player when he's doing the things that he can do within his own game. And I think early we saw him kind of press in the year. Even when he was healthy, he was getting charges. He wasn't hitting shots. He wasn't as confident. And now as he's getting healed up, his confidence level is rising, and he's really starting to play well for us.
Good rebounding game for your bigs today. You had Anthony Davis, didn't make a field goal today, and he fouled out, but he had 10 rebounds. Eric McCollum was a rebound away from a double-double. As far as the rebound advantage, not anything too dominating, 31-26 with the advantage there, but I thought those two specifically did a really nice job on the glass.
Well, the big thing was we didn't give up a lot of offensive rebounds. You know, holding them to 5. Their offense is really hard to guard. There's no doubt about it. I think they're the hardest team to defend in our league with what they run because you don't know what's coming in a motion. You know, we can do our best to prepare, but we get one day of prep in between, you know, conference games, so it's not a lot we could prep. So, you know, with them being as difficult to defend as they are, you can't give up offensive rebounds or you're guarding for another 25 seconds at minimum at times. So, you know, I was really frustrated with Eric McCollum, Scooter, at halftime. You know, he bobbled some passes down there and traveled a couple times, and he didn't finish. You know, he wasn't rebounding great, I didn't think, in the first half. And you know, he's one of the guys I kind of challenged at halftime, and I think he's a little bit ticked off at me coming out in the second half. And he came out and had a much better half, and he finished a couple baskets. And, you know, he's getting better with free throws. Hopefully he can keep improving in that area. But you know, I thought him and AD did a great job, and AD and him both did a phenomenal job down the stretch defensively for us as well.
Tell me about the second to last offensive possession you had. You had it with about 27 seconds left and couldn't get a shot off before the final sequence where you got the winning shot. What was the goal on that possession where you kind of ran it down against the shot clock and couldn't get a shot off?
Well, credit their defense. You know, they were really packed in. We were in a spread offense, a 4 out, 1 in, and you know, late in the game like that, we were trying to space and attack and get to the rim or get fouled because of the way they were officiating it. And we shot 28 free throws. They shot 25, so that's a ton of free throws. So we were really trying to get them spread and drive a gap and either get someone to help and kick or get to the foul line or the rim, one or the other. But they did a tremendous job of closing off every gap that we tried to drive there. And then I believe we stepped out of bounds or something there on the baseline, but that actually won us the game in reality. So, you know, big play for us in that instance. But, you know, they're a good defensive team. I think they're one of the best defensive teams in our conference for sure. You know, that's something that to me has been the key to their success this year for John Brown is, to me, they got one of the best defenses in the conference, and they really know how to adjust things per team. And they're a hard team to score against because of the way they defend not only certain people but certain areas of the floor. They make it very hard to get in the paint. They make it very hard to get to the rim. As you could see, Elijah traveled getting to the rim. He couldn't finish over there big. Scooter shot a fall-away hook because he couldn't get to the rim. And they just do such a good job defensively. I can't give them enough credit. That's why I was so pleased with what we did in the second half because they figured out a way to really space them out a little bit more and find some different lanes to drive. So, you know, again, give us credit for adjusting to how they were playing us.
Another 3-game week for you guys next week, and that includes the long road trip on Thursday. Tell me about your upcoming schedule.
Southwestern Christian on Tuesday. That's all I can tell you. We're not looking past one at a time. I told you a long time ago we had to dig ourselves out of a big-time hole, and this group has done that. And all of a sudden there's some life in our legs, and we're feeling pretty good. And Southwestern Christian absolutely embarrassed us at their place. I think it was like 2 weeks ago. I mean, we've had so many games in a hurry. It feels like forever, but it's not. And that's one I'll really remember because, you know, they really stuck it to us. They did a heck of a job on us, defending us, scoring on us. And, you know, I hope we're ready for a challenge on Tuesday because they got a very good team. And it's one I hope, you know, we can step up to the plate and come up with one.
All right, Coach.